Hey, we're playing Chapter 3, Mission 3 of my StarQuest campaign, but as you may notice, there's an awful lot of models on the board here. That's because we're actually going to play it as a Grimdark Future game. As you may recall, at the end of the last mission, our heroes step through a portal in the Blackstone Fortress, and they emerge here, in this strange mishmash of open terrain and Blackstone Fortress bits. And there's an ambush going on. Emerging from their hidden positions, we have the combined forces of the Soul Snatcher cults and the Havoc brothers. These conduit forces are in trouble, so our heroes rush to help them. Brother Kantara joins these veteran Prime brothers. Sister Belvoir joins these warrior sisters. Mirabelle joins these prosecution sisters. And lurking off the board somewhere is Sergeant Neffim with a unit of stormtroopers. There are 3 objectives on the board to try and control, and this will be an all-or-nothing mission. If I fail this, it's the end of the campaign. If I succeed, I'll go on to the final chapter. Other little notes before I start. Neffim and Kantara are carrying over their lingering injuries to this battle, and we're using 2/3 measurements and extra actions. Let's roll off to see who activates first. Black die is the enemy. Right, here we go. I'm using random activation for the enemy forces, so this will be these Soul Snatchers. I'm using the AI for the enemy. Now, there's no objectives under control at the moment, so the Soul Snatchers rush towards this one. Brother Kantara advances this way, leading the Prime brothers. The brothers can see the Soul Snatcher matriarch with an entourage of Soul Snatchers, so we'll open fire. We have 2 heavy rifles and 1 master heavy pistol. This sergeant with the pistol is just out of range. They are war veterans, so are hitting on 2s. 3 hits. Armor piercing 1, so 5s to block. 3 dead Soul Snatchers. The matriarch's unit is now at half strength, so we'll need to make a morale check. 3 or better. No, so they are shaken. The Havoc cultists activate next and advance towards this objective. Before they shoot, we check to see if this warlock is going to cast a spell, so we roll D3 and add 2. That would be the spell Warp Passage, which is a level 3 spell, so he will hang on to his caster points. Targeting the veteran Prime brothers, the cultists fire 8 rifles, 1 plasma gun and 1 flamer. Hitting on 5s. Prime brothers are built like tanks, so have a defense of 2. 1 wound goes through though. Not much we can do about that. One of the brothers perishes. Sister Mirabelle advances with the prosecutors. Mirabelle has Witch Destroyer, which makes them just a little bit faster. So that will get them here. They will then fire their prosecution rifles at these neophytes, and Mirabelle will shoot her flamer into these Soul Snatchers. Quality 4. Let's deal with the prosecution rifles first. We will give the neophytes some cover from this debris here. So, 4 failed saves. I rolled at random to see who the survivor would be, and the neophyte with the flamer is the survivor. And then the flamer hit on the Soul Snatchers, it's blast free. Defense 4, so they all dodge. Right, let's see if this surviving neophyte is brave or not. A morale check, and he is brave. These Havoc brothers activate next, and they are going to advance towards this objective. This is blocking terrain, so there is 1 prosecution sister in line of sight of 3 Havoc brothers, so they will fire their heavy rifles at her, scoring 1 hit. The sisters are wearing power armor with a 3+ defense, but the heavy rifle is AP1, so that is not a block. This sister is dead. Alright, time for Sister Belvoir's squad to activate. I need to decide if they're going to go help the Battle Brothers or go kill those Soul Snatchers. I think I want to kill the Soul Snatchers, so let's head that way. Before we open fire, I think we'll have Sister Belvoir cast Eternal Flame. It will succeed on a 4 or better. No. So we have Sister Belvoir's Master Shotgun, 3 heavy rifles and a heavy machine gun. So the red dice of the shotgun, quality 4. So all the Warrior Sisters missed. Just 2 hits from the shotgun, one of which kills a Soul Snatcher. The remaining Neophyte will advance this away and fire his flamer at the Warrior Sisters. It's a reliable blast weapon, so it hits. Warrior Sisters defend on a 4, so that is a kill. And finally the Matriarch activates, and we're allowing extra actions for them, so she will, when I find it, hunker down. And that is the end of round 1. Let's have a look at the objectives. So the Conduit forces were at a bit of a disadvantage due to the ambush setup. They control this back objective here, and the Cultists control this objective and this one. Okay, start of round 2. With this being the ambush mission, it is a 6-round game. Sergeant Nethim and his squad of stormtroopers emerges from where they were hiding, right at the back there. I get to go first, and I think I'm going to start off with Kantara and the veteran Prime Brothers. They're going to advance forwards a little to get in the way, and then fire what they got at the Matriarch and those Soul Snatchers. So we've got a Master Heavy Pistol, the Sergeant's Heavy Pistol, this Heavy Rifle, and a Plasma mod. What will I need to hit? They're veterans, so a 2+, but the Soul Snatchers are hunkering down, so I'll need a 4 or better. So the Plasma missed, but we've got 3 heavy hits, so the Soul Snatchers will need a 5 to defend. That's 2 dead Soul Snatchers. Just the Matriarch now. The Havoc Brothers activate now and will march towards this objective. 5 heavy rifles shooting at the Prime Brothers. That's a pretty crappy shooting attempt from them, but that is still 2 hits. The Prime Brothers will be defending on a 3. Oh no, that is another casualty. Who should we take off? The Prime Brothers are at half strength now, so a morale check for them, and they are fine. Alright, my turn. Let's hit these Soul Snatchers with something. The Prosecution Sisters are going to hold position, fire their Prosecution Rifles and Mirabelle's Flamer. Because they are relentless, 6s will be extra hits. No 6s. Only 3 hits from that volley. 2 Soul Snatchers are blown away, and the survivors need to make a morale check, which they fail. We have shaken Soul Snatchers. The Havoc Cultists activate now. Let's see what spell the Warlock wants to cast. That will be Havoc Trauma, which is bad news for Prime Brothers, because it's an anti-armor spell. Right, the Cultists will now advance forwards. The Warlock now casts Havoc Trauma. The AI routine doesn't say how many caster points to use, so I'll make it the basic 2. So a 4 or better. The spell goes off. This is an AP 4 hit. Come on, let's see a 6. No, so the last of the veterans falls to horrible witchcraft, leaving Kantara. And now here comes the shooting attack. So we've got 8 rifles, 1 plasma gun and 1 flamer. So it looks like the flamer hit and 1 rifle. Kantara is actually wearing power armor today for a defensive 2+, however he does still have that chest wound, so freeze to block. He is fine. He does now need to make a morale check, which he passes. Okay, the Warrior Sisters next, and they are going to charge. They're going to charge at that last Neophyte. Spell casting first, and Sister Belvoir is going to use all 3 caster points on Heretics. It's successful. The spell targets the Soul Snatchers and the Havoc Brothers, so the next time they take hits, they'll be -1 to defense. Alright, let's absolutely destroy this cultist. So we've got a total of 6 close combat weapons and 2 strikes with an energy sword. Quality is 4. The Neophyte will have to be very lucky to dodge all this. He's gone. Okay, time for the Matriarch to activate. Let's see what spell she's going to cast. 6. That is going to be the very nasty Psychic Blaze, but she'll complete her charge first, and now cast the spell. So she spends 3 caster points, and she'll need a 4 better. It goes off. Oh no, poor Kantara. So, 6 Psychic Blaze hits on Kantara. But his armour protects him from everything, but also 6 hits on the Warrior Sisters. And they take 1 casualty. That wasn't too bad. A single swipe from the Matriarch's Heavy Claw is 4 dice. Quality 3, they all hit. Armour piercing 1. So, and with, yes, Kantara's chest wound means that is 3 wounds. He's down. The AI rules don't specifically mention this, but I presume that the Matriarch can now consolidate to the objective. Sergeant Neffim's men advance. Let's fire everything into the Havoc Brothers. So we've got a Master Rifle, 4 heavy rifles, and a fusion gun. Quality is 4. We did score a nice hit with the fusion gun, so they can roll to defend. Blocks the rifle, but the fusion gun takes out one of their number. The final activation is the Soul Snatchers, who will hunker down. At the end of round 2, this objective belongs to the enemy. This one is contested, but I claim the one at the back here, thanks to Sergeant Neffim. At the beginning of round 3, we have a random event, and the random event is the Havoc Gods Playthings. So I need to pick a random table quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4. This table quarter, everyone in that table quarter is now fatigued. So that just amounts to Sergeant Neffim's squad. Okay, the conduit forces get to go first. It's difficult to know who to activate first. I'm going to go with Sergeant Neffim, who's going to advance to secure this objective properly. And they will let rip with their heavy rifles and fusion gun into the Havoc Brothers. 2 heavy rifle hits, 1 fusion gun hit. Very nice, we took out 2 Havoc Brothers. And the survivors need to make a morale check, which they pass. The Havoc Cultists next. They are equidistant from the 2 uncontrolled objectives, so I've rolled at random for them. They're going to head towards this one. Let's check for the Warlock spell. What's that going to be? 4. So that spell is Havoc Trauma. There's no valid target. And actually looking at the AI rules, that means they have to cycle through their spells until they get a valid one. I don't know what cycle through means. I assume it's the next spell in the list, which will be Warp Passage. So I'll have him cast Warp Passage. 3 caster points, so 4 better to succeed. After all that faffing about, the spell has failed anyway. Next, the Havoc Cultists will fire all their weapons into the Warrior Sisters. The Flamer is just out of range, but we have a black die for the plasma gun. The rest are rifles. Quality 5. That is an impressive 5 hits. So forced to block for the sisters. Oh dear. So the whole squad is wiped out and Sister Belvoir takes 1 wound. That definitely calls for a morale check, which she passes. Well, I think we'll activate Sister Belvoir next. She's going to use both caster points on Eternal Flame, so a 3 or better. It's successful. We're going to splat the Soul Snatchers. This will be 4 hits, and they are at -1 to defend because they are heretics. Look at that defense roll. 1 Soul Snatcher killed. And then let's advance a little this way and shoot the Master Shotgun. Now the Soul Snatcher's hunkering down, so I will need 6s, but she's devout, so 6s would be extra hits. Come on! Yeah! That is 4 hits at AP1. got you. All the Soul Snatchers are gone. The Havoc brothers activate now, and they are very grumpy and upset that their objective got captured. So they're going to advance back this way and open up with their heavy rifles. 2 hits. Now, Stormtroopers have a defense of 4, so they'll need 5s to block. Nice. Now, it'd be nice if the Prosecution Sisters could just hold there and shoot with their Prosecution ammo, but it's not the best position at the moment, so they are going to advance. With the help of Mirabelle's Witch Seeker ability, that gets them here. Now, ideally, I'd like to shoot at the Matriarch, but I think that the cultists are blocking line of sight, so we'll shoot the Prosecution rifles at the cultists, and Mirabelle will shoot her flamer at the Havoc brothers, since that's the only target in range. Okay, let's see what the sisters can hit. Quality 4. Mirabelle does torch the Havoc brothers. It's a blast weapon, so we ignore this cover. And she manages to burn one of the Havoc brothers. Presumably the one that's actually in range. There we go. The Prosecution rifles score 5 hits on the Havoc cultists. We will give them some cover from this interceding Blackstone Fortress structure. 4s to block. So we have 3 kills. I'll just take them off the side here. Alright, let's see what awful thing this Soul Snatcher Matriarch is going to do. Now, I did make sure that Sister Belvoir was just out of charge range, so it will therefore rush to the objective. Let's see what spell she wants to cast. What would that be? D3 plus 3, so spell number 5. That will be Mind Control. I'm not too concerned about that, but let's see if it goes off. No, she's wasted her caster points. Oh, that wasn't too bad. At the end of round 3, the enemy still controls this objective, and the other 2 are now contested. Right, I get to go first, so let's start with Sister Belvoir. She's going to cozy on up to that objective. And let's cast a spell. How about Heretics again? 2 caster points, so I'll need a 4 or better. Yeah, it goes off. So that will target the Matriarch and the cultists for a defense penalty. And then she shall use the Blessed Shotgun at the only thing in range, the Matriarch. 1 hit. AP1, and the Heretic penalty means the Matriarch needs a 5 to block. She takes a wound. The Fates have chosen the Havoc cultists to move next, so they will trudge towards the objective. Okay, the Warlock spell casting. That would be spell number 4. So, same as last time, that's Havoc Trauma, there's nothing in range, so the next spell along is Warp Passage. 3 caster points. It fails again. Alright, we now have 5 rifles, 1 plasma gun, and 1 flamer, all targeting Sister Belvoir. So, what have we got? 2 rifle hits. Wait, flamer's reliable, so that hits as well. Right, will Belvoir's armor save her? She takes 2 wounds, and she's out. Okay, Prosecution Sisters are going to hold position and shoot the Prosecution rifles into the Matriarch. Mirabelle will use her flamer on the cultists. Here we go, and we're looking for those 6s. So that is 4 hits with the Prosecution rifles, plus 1 extra for the Prosecution ammo. The Matriarch defends on a 3. She blocked them all. Damn. And then Mirabelle's flamer is blast free, so we'll ignore the cover, roll 3 dice, and we have 2 kills. 3 kills, sorry, forgot about heretics. There we go. Hey, morale check for the cultists, which they pass. The Havoc brother holds position, and we'll actually let him do the focus fire action. Fires his heavy rifle, so we'll be hitting on a 2. Hits a stormtrooper. Does not penetrate the armour. The stormtroopers will also take the focus fire action, and they're going to split their fire. We're going to have Nethim and these two stormtroopers fire their heavy rifles at the matriarch, and then these three shoot at the Havoc brother. 2 heavy rifles and a fusion gun at the Havoc brother with +1 to hit. We score 2 rifle hits. AP1. That is 1 penetrating wound, which kills the last Havoc brother. Right, we have a nice clear shot towards the matriarch. So I'm going to do Nethim first, because I forgot that he is blind in one eye, so has -1 to hit. However, that's still 1 hit. And then 2 other heavy rifles, which also hit. 3 hits total with AP1. 1 goes through. That's enough for a morale check, which the matriarch passes. And finally the matriarch. Now the AI rules in this situation are a little bit confusing about how it defines enemies in the way. I'm just going to have it hop over the objective to charge at the Prosecution Sisters. Right, spellcasting. That's going to be spell number 5, which is Mind Control again. Very odd choice. Anyway, 3 caster points. It fails anyway. She swings her heavy claw. Ooh, they all hit, and we have 1 rending. Okay, the rending hit. It's not blocked. Ah! And the 3 other claw attacks. I will need 4s to block, so that is 1 more casualty. Ah! This squad are upgraded with Holy Shield, so we'll see if a couple of 6s will protect them. Yeah. You can get back up. The sisters push in for a response. So Mirabelle gets a mighty 4 close combat weapon attacks, and then 1 each from the other sisters. Here we go, quality 4. What's that? That's a hit. Then the matriarch defends on a 3 or better. Blocks them all. Amazing stuff. It's the end of the round, so this objective remains under the control of the enemy. This one is now contested, and we reclaim this one at the back. That was 4 rounds, which would be the end of a regular game, but this is the ambush mission, which goes on for 6 rounds. Let's go. Let's start with Nethim's squad. Advance. Let's split fire again. So the fusion gun and the stormtrooper will fire at the matriarch, the rest will shoot at the cultists. We'll give both units of enemies cover from the Blackstone Fortress structures. Firing at the matriarch first. We have a fusion gun hit, which is AP4. Not blocked, it's also deadly free. She's gone. Nethim's master rifle at the cultist. Again, he's blind in one eye, so that is 1 hit. 3 other heavy rifles hitting on a 4. 3 hits total with AP1, but again, some cover. Defending on 5s. Still, that is 3 dead cultists. A morale check for the warlock and his chum. They pass and keep fighting. Suddenly, these are the only remaining enemies, so they will advance towards this objective, tripping over a rock. And let's see what spell the warlock wants to cast. That would be spell number 3. That would be Cursed Sludge. So 2 caster points. Success on a 4 or better. That gives our friendly units a movement penalty. This cultist fires his plasma gun at Mirabelle's squad. It's a hit, AP4. I block. And finally for this round, the Prosecution Sisters hold position. In fact, they'll use the focus fire action and shoot at the cultists. Prosecution rifles and a flamer. So with the bonus to hit from focus fire, that is 4 hits. And the cultist is gone. And 1 wound on the warlock. The flamer hit, it's a blast weapon. There were 2 models there. So we'll roll 2 dice. That's another 2 wounds. The Warlock is toast. That is all the enemy forces wiped out. At the end of the round, we capture this objective, and that's the end. We win! Let's reward our 4 heroes as though they had completed a StarQuest mission, and they will proceed to the final chapter. We will root out the last of the Soul Snatcher cultists, and maybe track down and defeat the true Soul Snatcher matriarch.